Don't forget to turn on recording, or should I? Okay, it's done.
Oh, I've done it already. Yeah, done it on.
Get out of the game.
Okay, so good day, everyone. My name is Ifeanyi Yagwara. Today we're having our Microsoft Excel learning community session. Today we're going to be looking at data analysis with Microsoft Excel, and our speaker is Cristiano. So the Microsoft Excel learning community is being sponsored by UrBizEdge, and UrBizEdge is a registered Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise firm in Nigeria. They're also the developers of the Nigeria financial market data in the Microsoft Store, and this is the upcoming training calendar. So they have training for financial modeling, business intelligence using Power BI in the upcoming week. So today our guest speaker is Cristiano, and he's a long-time Excel trainer, consultant, and speaker. His mission is also to help people organize and understand the data. And he posts his idea on Instagram, especially on LinkedIn. If you follow him on LinkedIn, you always see his post. So say Microsoft FMP, and he has a very popular YouTube channel which is called Excel Tumble. He's also the part of the Microsoft Creator, which was a program that was currently closed at the moment. And he has also led local workshops in Brazil and all over the world. He also has some online courses in LinkedIn Learning and XP School. So, hello, Cristiano.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very glad for the invitation and with the opportunity to be among all you guys. Just give the heads on and we start sharing the screen, and I hope you enjoy the topic that I'm bringing here today to present.
The floor is yours actually now. So we are going to fade to the background and try and be coordinating things and get some more people in. So yes, you can go ahead and share your screen and start your session.
Okay. So thanks for the introduction. Just double checking here. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. So you did all the introduction. So let's just compliment about Brazil. People are always a little curious to know a little more. I'm right behind my face. It's the place where I live here currently. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, but I live in São Paulo now. The cities are not so far, and this is a little piece of São Paulo right behind me here, right behind the window. I love this city. There are many opportunities here to explore. The major companies are here in São Paulo, the major Brazilian companies and the companies, of course, that are in Brazil. And Excel is always present among these opportunities that we find here. So I work with Excel for long years, and this is the website, the MVP website. I'm hearing myself. Let me reduce this here. Oh, better. I was hearing my own voice. Okay, sorry. This is the MVP website, mvp.microsoft.com. But if you enter this other site here, cristianogalvão.com, you always find this website. But in case you prefer to enter the official site, just find Cristiano on the search field, and then you will find my videos, articles, and recent contributions. I'm the organizer of the Excel weekend, like they said. These are some pictures. I have many pictures here, but I will not put all the pictures that I have, of course, but it's just to express my feeling about how much I miss the local events, and I hope to be among you guys in a future in one of the international opportunities. This is my LinkedIn. I'm always posting content there. And this is the website of the last edition of the Excel Weekend. So people ask about the Exceltober channel. This is one of the coolest videos that I have there. One of the interviews is with Michael Olafuzzi. Check this video later after the presentation. And today we are here to speak about data analysis in Excel. So these are some bullets to make sure that I will show some cool stuff. This is not a course. This is not the purpose here is not to teach all the commands, but differently. What I want to bring here is some new possibilities for about features that maybe people are not using, are not exploring. So I hope to plant some seeds so that you could explore later the features with more time and effort. Oh, the link, thank you. Yes, yeah, the link, it's important. I would copy and paste here, but they did. Yes, exactly. So about Excel in data analysis scenario, let me put something on the screen here. This is our language. I'm studying data science now through an MBA program in Brazil, and many people are totally into our language and Python. Of course, they are the two most famous tools for data science, but the learning curve may be hard for many people, especially for people who are not native English speaker, like me, for example, and people here in Brazil. English is our second language, and we may find some commands easy to understand if we see for the first time, like read Excel, for example. But then we say, hey, hold on, this is a workbook, right? So Excel is always present in some kinds of analysis, even if we use another platform, another language, we could read data from Excel and do any kind of analysis. But what I would like to show is that what I would like to say here, Excel has now the dynamic arrays, right? Dynamic array functions, actually. And then now we have lambda function that allows us to create our own custom functions, right? Without using VBA, not the UDF. And this gives us an interesting opportunity to analyze data as well, because once we create custom functions specifically to analyze data, we can reuse the functions every place. Let me show you something here in Excel that I never showed to anyone. I'm opening Excel on the another tab. because this thing here is something that I will include in a book that I'm writing. Let me check here. We have a data set here, right? The numbers are random. Let me just copy and paste as values so they stop changing. When you want to analyze data, you usually will want to see the average, maximum, minimum, right? What would you do? You can write in the chat. The participants, feel free to write in the chat. If in case you want to write the summary, the average, the maximum, minimum, which kind of functions or formulas would you apply here to get all these relevant statistics about the numbers? We could try a pivot table as well. Yeah, usually you write more than one formula, right? More than one. Or would you prefer a pivot table? Or yes, please. Please, let's interact a little. Yes, feel free to write. Yes. Typically, you write more than one function, right? One function to get the sum, one function to get the maximum. Data analysis TalkBack, it's one of the things that I will show here. I have it installed already. This is great because not many people use the data analysis TalkBack. Yes. But now, because of Lambda, let me show what I can do here. I have a function called summary that you don't have in your Excel because I made to myself. And then I'm going to do this here. I selected the array, right? And now I have this. The sum, average, deviation, minimum, and the maximum of the 3 columns with a single function made with Lambda and other stuff, other functions that are new. Cool, right? This is really new. Again, I made the summary function. This is not standard in Excel. This is custom. I made to myself, and I can reuse in other projects. And I never showed it to anyone because I'm writing a book. So if I put all this stuff on the internet, I don't have anything new to show, but you guys are special. I'm just giving you a small view of things that I'm preparing to release soon. This is made with Lambda, and we have a new editor of formulas, but I have more things to show. So let me go back to the script. This is just the beginning. Yes, Excel is really wide. And let me go back here to the point I was. So when people start asking about Excel in data science, is it possible? Yes. Yes, because it's not only Lambda function, we have more things coming. We have, of course, the DAX analysis, the data analysis expression that is DAX. I will not cover DAX here. Michael is good on this, and you have tons of content about DEX, but it's just to mention that Excel is really good to analyze data. Instead of DEX, let me show you something that not many people talk about. I would like to try to present something different, something new. This picture here is from the latest edition in person, the last local event that we did on the Excel weekend. The devices that are here, this is an Arduino board connected to sensors. This is the board. People can buy just the board, or people can buy kits that come with different kinds of sensors. And this is one interesting field that I don't see many people talking about. So that's the reason to include this in a talk about data analysis. You find this project here that has a kind of glove by typing this on Bing or Google or your search engine of preference. Microsoft hacking STEM. I could write down in the chat as well, Microsoft hacking STEM. This is a project that Microsoft introduces in the schools. This is for young students in the United States, and they connect the board to a computer, and they analyze data inside Excel using an add-in which is called Data Streamer. This is the kind of stuff they do. And they have partnership even with the NASA, the American, I forgot all the letters, but the special agents, American special agents. Microsoft hacking in STEM, and this is the project. They have tons of videos and they have the workbooks to download, but we can't do many stuff only with the workbooks because we need the devices. But it's pretty interesting to see how Excel could analyze data in real time. And of course, we can use the talent on charts and all kinds of graphic resources inside Excel to present something in an interesting way. The other project there is about wind. They could analyze the speed and direction of wind and compute this in a workbook. This is the path to enable the add-in. Is not hard. We just go to the COM add-ins and we have a box to check Microsoft Data Streamer for Excel. If you don't have any kind of device, you could import a CSV file and do something for real, right? It's possible to do it. I can show you, if you would like to see this more, when I stop the PowerPoint stuff, I can show for real in Excel. But just tell me on the chat if you would like to see more about. And this here was during the event, we put a keychain in front of the sensor to get the gift that some people got after answering questions. There is a post that a guy wrote about 10 days ago on LinkedIn. And if you go to my LinkedIn profile later, you will see the post. You can connect with the guy, and he reproduced the hacking stand, and it's there. This here, there is a video on my YouTube channel. I have Bill Jelen in New York, and I showed the distance sensor. This is in a restaurant, and we have a napkin, and we are putting the napkin very close to the sensor. This stuff that is similar to big eyes, like the Wall-E. There is a cartoon called Wall-E.
Yes.
Right, and it looks like eyes. I like this video to put here because I don't have the device today, but this is the data streamer bringing the data for real, and Bill Jelen, that you know, amazed because he never knew in person. He saw on the internet before, but that was the first time he saw the device. Yeah, Michael remember Wall-E. There is a guy on the background that looks like an FBI guy. He is trying to see what we are doing. I just noticed later when editing the video. You can check later the video on my channel. And this here is not a real chart. This is made of several shapes, but I have the same sensor behind and creating this movement, okay? I made this trick with conditional formatting and some transparent shapes that are, actually they are not red, yellow, or green. They are black, and they are just frames, and the color are on the background. The colors are on the background changing. That's the trick. But let's see the analyzed data. And now I don't have PowerPoint anymore. Let me go back to Excel here. If you open Excel in English, you have the analyzed data here. This feature was also called ideas. And the icon was a lightning. A blue lightning, but now they renamed the feature to analyze data. I have an old video, a 15-minute video on my YouTube channel called Ideas. So if you search Excel Turbo Ideas later, you will find a specific video about the thing I'm going to show here. Excel Turbo Ideas. That's the keywords to find the video on YouTube later. But let me check here. I'm going to press. If you have the same button, don't miss any second. Just follow me and you will be able to explore this feature as well. I love this feature because analyzed data is bringing more democracy to data analysis, right? Even a person that is not a data professional, let's suppose a small business owner that has a small bakery, but would like to analyze the products that are selling more and trying to detect some trends. Is there seasonality, for example? A business owner could hire a person, a professional like Michael and his company, or me, but for very small things, they could do something cool with analyzed data And then, of course, if they want more, they could hire a project on Excel. Let me stop talking and show the stuff for real. We must use analyze data with a data set, but Microsoft was so cool here. They created a try sample data, and we can have the same spreadsheet without having to download anything. So don't worry about this data set, because it's just a matter of pressing try sample data. And here we go on the right panel with different cool insights about this data set. For example, this category is selling way more than the others. And I could see these just looking to the data set. I could not see. Okay. Usually we think, let's create a pivot table and then a chart over the pivot table, which is a dynamic chart. But this was automatically created by Analyze Data. And we have more. There are 9 more interesting stuff. And this here is very interesting, because when people are speaking of data science, we always see people speaking of this kind of chart, and we see people speaking about outliers as well. So Excel detected a trend, a behavior, but there is some point here which is totally out of the curve. This is the outlier. So the point, we can see the point and see the value, 63,000, right? What could we see, or what could we interpret about this? Let's reorder the data set and see some. Maybe it is correct, but maybe somebody typed this wrongly. Instead of 63, maybe it is 3. Oh, I pressed the wrong button here. 3, 6, like the other below. And of course, it's not an outlier anymore. Now it's a very common value among the others, and the chart is updated. Only the title was not updated again. Okay, but we could analyze the data again. If I press analyze data, it will interpret again, and maybe we don't have the insight anymore. Now it's different. What the chart is telling me is that there is a relation between the rating and the sales. What is this? The products that have a better review, a better rating, they used to sell more. And the word correlation is on one of the bullets on my PowerPoint here. It's the next point that I would like to talk, because some people understand correlation in a wrong way. They see like cause and effect. It's not cause and effect. Correlation is something that we could suspect that is a cause and relation, but not necessarily. For example, I could say to you that everybody that drinks water die someday. And that's true. So there is a correlation between people who drink water and people who die. But there's not a cause effect. People die because they have to die someday. Everybody die. So sometimes we see some TV news where people are trying to push correlation to some concept in a wrong way, trying to manipulate sometimes. Sometimes it's not by mistake. Sometimes they do by intent. But this is another conversation. I'm just wondering, but correlation is something important that we could use analyze data, or we could use the correl function and then get the sales and get the rating. And then we have this number here. It's very correlated because it's very close to 1. Before I change the number, let's see that outlier again. 6, 3, and something. You see that the correlation is lower now because of one outlier. The data is not so correlated. And if we have random numbers here, the correlation will be very small. Okay. So one of the interesting stuff that you could use to analyze data is correlation, to see if there is something to be investigated closer. And then maybe with a deeper analysis, usually out of Excel later, you could see that it's a cause effect, okay? But not necessarily. If you have any question, please write down in the chat. Don't wait until the end. I'll be glad to respond if I have the answer. So this is the analyzed data. We have many interesting stuff here, but one of the things that I want to show you is the natural language processing that they are bringing here to this field. I could ask for the sales of tires along the years. And look at this. Excel created a quick analysis of the sales of tires along the years. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't understand, for example, tires. I see that was not detected for some reason. So this is not perfect, but it's very cool to see. For example, sales of accessories. Now I got, this is correct. Accessories is selling this amount along the years. So if we have a novice trying to analyze data, he could simply press analyze data and ask Excel in English. This is not SQL language. You know, people who are using database, this is not SQL language. This is just English.
Okay, there's a question.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question. So the analyzed data, does it exist on the online Excel version?
Excellent question. Yes, it's available and is basically the same. We don't see many difference. Is really similar to this version here. I can even open here to you.
Okay, then I have another question. So for non-English speakers like you,
Mm-hmm.
can they still use Excel? Like, is there a way to make it read in Spanish or something?
We don't have the analyzed data available in other languages yet. For example, I use Excel in Portuguese. When I switch to Portuguese, it disappears. The analyzed data disappears. Some time ago, I got to open analyze data on the Excel in Portuguese, but this field was not available. Only the insights were available, but not the questions. And then they removed, and if you ask Microsoft about the analyze data in other languages, they will say that it was never available, but I saw it in Portuguese for a couple of days. After switching the languages back and forth, I got it on the Portuguese language, but without this field. It's not available. Okay?
Okay.
The same for Spanish and other languages. Here's the browser. This is Excel Online and analyze data. It's just a little bit slower when opening, but it's the same. Even with the try sample data. And here we go. We have the questions we could ask. What is selling more? More bikes or clothing? Not all the questions will be cool, right? The attempt here was to count. I don't want the count. When we ask what is selling more, and I wrote wrongly, so not good. I should write correctly. I instead of is, I wrote us. But again, the report is not so accurate here, because what is to sell more? Is to have more sales on the rows, or to have more volume in dollars, right? So we should make very accurate questions when using this feature. Is something that we must be precise, okay?
Yeah, then what's the latest version that has this feature? Like, do you know? So there's one version of Excel we have this feature. So I think maybe the earliest version that this feature might be available in.
For sure, the 365, but for the perpetual versions, I'm not sure. I would have to double check, but this is new, so I'm sure that if you find Excel 2016, it's not available. I'm almost sure only 365. I can search and put in the chat later, but I'm almost sure only the 365. I always recommend everyone to use the 365 because of all the recent features like Lambda and the others. We have another point here, forecasting techniques, and then the analysis toolpath. The forecasting technique. Let me get a data set. This time I'm going to create one. So I have this is American date, so the first one is month. No, I want March. So I invented some dates, and I'm going to invent some sales here. Right between. And then this is just to create something that would look like normal sales, okay? And then in April, we don't have this number here. So we have sales, sometimes increase, sometimes not. And then we want to see the possible sales amount for the next date. We are talking about prediction. What could we do here? Data. Data. Forecast sheet. Look at this. We have a chart showing the real series, and then we have a possibility here, but not only the possibility, we have a range because the predicted values could be inside this range here. Okay, and then we press create. Let me do it again. The first time I moved something here while trying to explain, and then I messed the chart. This is what is supposed to appear, the same chart that I explained before. And here in the end, you have the real sales stopping today, actually yesterday. Let's suppose that we don't have the final numbers because the day was not gone. But then the next values are projected values. This is the forecast. And thanks to the feature, you could see the function. There is a function behind to try to predict the next numbers. So the spreadsheet is revealing the function, and you could do it by typing, but there is a button to do that. So it's better to try the button and see what is included. So the lower confidence bound, upper confidence bound, it's like a minimum and a maximum that did not happen yet. Okay.
Okay. So there's one question. The analyze data, is it the same thing as the analyze to tip? And so that's two pack here.
The analyze data, you don't need to install. It comes on Excel, but the data analysis tool pack is an add-in that you need to enable.
Well, do you do the same thing? Are they like similar? Or
if I think they are similar?
Yes, do you think they're similar or are they different?
They are different. They are different. Let me go back here to the PowerPoint. I have some pictures that I would like to show, but then I go back to Excel on the sequence. This is a slide that I got from one of the events that I participated. I even recommend a book. This book, Statistical Analysis with Excel from the series called For Dummies, is a very famous series. And This was translated in Brazil a long time ago, and I made the technical review in Brazil, but you find this book in English very easily. This is an old cover, but they have a new one. And behind, you have some of the tools available inside the tool pack. Descriptive statistics, ANOVA, regression, histogram, and this is available since 2007. So, for example, histogram, we have a chart that does histogram now, right? Where is my other data set? I think I closed. No, I have it here. This here. For example, let me get a copy here. The data analysis tool pack. Let me start with this thing here, add-ins, and then Excel add-ins. This is where we enable the analysis tool pack, which is really old, and we have a VBA version as well that comes to manipulate the features through programming language, right? But the first one, analysis tool pack, once you enable, you will see inside the data tab, right in the end, you have the data analysis together with solver if you enabled solver as well. So once you enable data analysis, you have a large variety of tools inside, including the histogram. The histogram, if I enable here, we have an input, a bin range. We have to set up the levels, 10,000, 14,000, and whatever, and it creates a histogram. But now we have a chart here at some place here, this here, that will do the histogram as well. And we have the analyzed data that is able to produce a histogram as well. So this is also a histogram, right? So we are speaking of a tool pack that is so old that Excel came with other features to compete, right? So some of the tools maybe you don't use anymore, but we have something interesting inside. For example, the descriptive analysis. Let me go back to the proper tab. Let me see this here. My input range will be the entire series of numbers. I can create a new worksheet, or I can put the results here. Instead of allowing a new worksheet, I just changed and I used this field. Okay, I want the summary. I forgot to check the summary. And then we have the statistics that will be useful to see the data health. We could use this expression. Or you could use lambda. But the lambda function that I created is not available on this spreadsheet here. Comes from another workbook. Right. We have lots of tools here inside the data analysis. Many of them require an understanding of statistics. That's why I recommend that book, Let me write down on the chat. Statistical Analysis with Excel for Dummies. I really recommend that book to everyone who is interested to see this. There is something that is really useful and everyone is talking nowadays, regression. So you can create regression on Excel, not necessarily using Python or R language. And there is something that is useful to create fake data sets. I have two videos on my YouTube where I teach how to use this feature here. The problem of generating random numbers with the function that you know, range or the range array, is that if you create so many numbers, there is a central line here. And if we include random numbers for sales, for any kind of stuff, and try to produce a pivot table later, we will see that the values, the totals are basically the same because the numbers are not following any kind of trend. They are equally distributed. So if you have a data set, this is very useful for teachers, for example. You want to create a fake data set about subscribers. Then you have the number, the ID number, and the gender. For some specific scenarios, you see more male people than female, or the opposite. So if you generate random numbers using random, I think everybody used this function, this formula here someday, choose with range between. This is a basic solution to create a fake data set. Female and male. If I have too many people, I will have basically the same amount for both. Check with a COUNTIF. See? So for creating some fake data sets, range and range between may be a bad solution because you would have to tweak a little bit the numbers to make them to look more real. But you could create the numbers with the numbers generation inside of the data analysis here. I'm going to put the link for the video on the chat because the video is already done, and this session here is to bring more than one possibility. So I showed a little bit of data streamer and then another feature, but I have more content recorded to show you. Questions? I think we are almost reaching the end of the session, so feel free to write down the questions. And while this, I get the link.
Okay. Are there any questions?
I'm creating
The link.
I'm typing the links here for both videos that teaches how to
Yeah.
generate fake numbers. And they have captions in English. So I'm writing down the part 1 and the part 2. The part 2 is using analysis toolpack.
Okay. So I think they should subscribe to Excel
the-
Tombo. Yes, it's also YouTube channel.
Yes.
Subscribe to
Let-
Excel Tombo.
Let me put here the channel. I'm on Instagram as well, but Instagram is a mix of personal and professional, but I'm there as well. Cristiano Excel Turbo. But the YouTube is where you are going to find more content.
Your LinkedIn also.
Yes, including the interview with Michael, which is pretty cool because of the second part as well. But interview is something that I love because we have the opportunity to see a little about the journey, how people would start. In my example, I started data analysis field because all my education is in computing, but different people have different journeys. And
You should tell us a bit about your journey. How did you get started with data analysis?
I was always involved with computing because when I was a kid, I earned from my father a very small computer, and the computer was not like the new computers that we plug on the outlet and we have internet, we have whatever. The old computers had a blank screen, and we had to program. The language was basic, and it was a very old, familiar of the Visual Basic language. So later I started to work with Excel, and I had a programming background already, but my education was always in computing, so I was always involved with data. And I think that's it.
Because what advice would you give to also about those that want to start out? Like, do you have any advice you would like to give to them?
Advice.
So those are maybe don't want to become data analysts, or those that are already data analysts don't want to like progress in their career.
Statistics. Learn statistics, because many people are using tools that are producing instant results. Even Excel, as you saw, we have the analyzed data, but what the tool is doing behind on the background. If we learn statistics, we could produce something more precise, more accurate, and better insights for the customers. So statistic is my advice. That book, Statistical Analysis with Excel, is a good start because you know Excel already, but then you bring statistics, and then yes, you put the both together and get a very good result. And of course, stay connected with people who are from the same field, people from different regions. This is a very rich experience because sometimes we live in a bubble, and when we connect to other people, we see different things, and then we get more insights to study later and explore more. Okay.
So okay, yes. So I've posted a link to like your YouTube channel. So like it's best to subscribe so that you always get whenever I drop something new, you can get any new content that comes in. And the video for the recording will be available by tomorrow evening or afternoon for close of business. So thanks so much for honoring our invitation and for coming. It was really very interesting.
Thank you for the invitation and for the opportunity to share. I'm very glad to be here. I would like to go to Nigeria someday. I've been in Angola only, but then the pandemic came and I didn't have any other opportunities to travel, but I hope I meet you someday in person. You all.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay,
bye. Michael.
Wonderful session.
My friend.
Thanks very much. And so everybody have a very happy Sunday, happy Easter, wonderful Sunday. Thanks a lot, Cristiano. Thanks for this very wonderful.
An excellent end of Sunday to everyone. And keep studying and find me on LinkedIn if you want to be in contact and share something. Just find me there. Yeah.
So this is link. This is a link. You can just search my name on LinkedIn and pops up. And we have another session in an hour in Power BI. So we're doing about conditional formatting in Power BI, and James will take us through that section. So thank you again, also, for coming. Thank you so much.
Bye.